The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has pulled the trigger on its strongest policy action in 10 years in an effort to curb rising inflation. The aggressive rate hike is in line with market expectations and follows through on the central bank's pledge to arrest rising prices. Shaila Francisco reports.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has raised its benchmark rate by 50 basis points, the highest rate hike in a decade, done to curb inflation. The third consecutive rate hike this year now brings the overnight reverse repurchase rate to 4% from 3 to 5%.
The Monetary Board noted that latest baseline forecasts have shifted higher over the policy horizon, indicating some risk of inflation exceeding the target in 2019. The Monetary Board deems stronger monetary action to be necessary to rein in inflation expectations, even as the previous monetary policy responses continue to work their way through the economy.
The Monetary Board also hiked its inflation forecast this year from 4.9% to 4.5% due to the increase in jeepney fares and water rate hikes. Increase in excise taxes of tobacco and higher oil prices also led BSP to revise its outlook. Inflation forecast for 2019, meanwhile, was also raised to 3.7% from the original 3.3%, while 2020 is at 3.2%. Amid strong policy action, the central bank noted factors now slowing down inflation.
There is a deceleration, a slowdown in the momentum of inflation. There are two factors behind that. One is the decline in world non-oil import price growth. The second reason for the deceleration from 2018 to 2019 is the negative base effects from July, August 2019 and June 2019 due to supply shocks in oil, food, and excise taxes.
The BSP has been battling criticisms that it has been behind the curve in monetary policy, failing to arrest inflation in due time to accommodate economic expansion. Espinilla, however, says that the economy can absorb further policy tightening.
We go back to the policy mandate of the BSP. Our primary mandate is really to keep inflation low and stable. And but at the same time, if you read further into our mandate, conducive to economic growth, one can also argue that focusing on inflation right now is not necessarily anti-growth. In fact, one can argue that it will sustain growth.
The central bank says they now expect inflation to peak by the third quarter, even as they note that inflation expectations remain elevated for now. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.